November 30 of 24. Now I know I left you guys working on the solar, but I got to move real quickly on this motor since I'm selling this motor. I have to take the throttle cables and the steering cables off of it, so when the new owner comes by, we can just disconnect it and they can drive off with it. Let's go through and see how I'm going to take all these parts apart. Hello and welcome back. Jim Boat here. So I've got to get this motor ready to take off of this boat. So I need to take all the cables, disconnect them from the boat, so when they take off with the motor, the cables go with them. Let's see how I'm going to do that. Here's the throttle right here and the shifter. It's right on the side of this pedestal here. You can see the cables running down here. So somehow I have to get under here. Somehow I have to get into here to get to the cables. My goodness. What does that look like in there? Yeah, it looks complicated. All right. So then it looks like it goes through the floorboard here somewhere. Looks like that might go, that looks like that goes through the bottom of the hull, bottom of the boat right here. So I have to take it apart up here somewhere. Oh my goodness. Disassemble it and pull the cable through here. Looks like great fun. I wonder if I could take this whole thing off and pull it forward, because I've got to get the tack off of here also. I'm not sure I can reach in there, so I've got to figure out a way I can take this thing off of the floor and move it forward. I need to fix some of this stuff and change the electrical, because obviously I'm going to get an electric motor in here, so I don't need this stuff anymore. I don't need a tachometer. Actually, I probably do need a tachometer. Okay, so here's all the electrical going into the motor. Looks like the steering cable here comes right through here and goes right into this secret little area under here. Here's the gas. I have to drain all the gas and out of the gas tank. So where does this all go? Well, let's go look. So it goes underneath here and it goes into this tubing right here, right underneath the boat. It goes all the way up front. Let's go up front and check it out. So there's the tubing. There's the tubing. There's the motor. It comes right down here to the side. It's interesting. It looks like they mount this thing with little straps right here. I'm gonna have to check that out. Replace that. I don't really want plastic under here. But anyway, it comes through this tubing. Goes right up into the floorboard right here. Looks like they might have changed that a few times. But that's steering, all kinds of stuff coming out of here. So, all right, I'm gonna start with the inside because I think I'm gonna pull this through and then pull it through all the channeling. But that's interesting. This is PVC, just plastic right here. Not sure what that is. But anyway, we're only concerned about this here. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is just try to figure out how to move all of this off of the wall, because I need to change some of this anyway. I don't need a generator motor, don't need a fuel gauge, so I need to pull this off anyway. So it looks like you go in from the inside here with those bolts down. I don't know if you can see them. There's some screws in there. Then I'm going to take these screws off. Let's see if I can pull this off the wall here. A lot of stuff to take off here. So, oh, look at that, even more stuff over on that side of the wall. So here where I am. I got it, yay! Second, I thought I had to take all these bolts off, which probably be a way to do it if you need to replace this. However, after looking around a little bit, there's 4 bolts. Here, here, over there, and then one more down here, just 4 bolts. And this whole cabinet comes off of the wall. And that are just awesome. I am very happy about not having to take this whole counter thing back off. So now I can access everything here. What do you guys think about this? If I put clasp on here instead of those screws. Those screws they're really long screws. What do you think if I just put a snap on here and a snap on here? You know, when you put it up, you snap them together and it'll hold this thing up against the wall in case I need to. Well, I'm probably going to get in there a few times, but you know, so I don't continue to drill holes in the wall here. All right, that's where I am. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me do all this fun stuff. Besides, I'm listening to rock and roll, the good old 80s and 70s, and I'll just get dinged if I play that on YouTube. So let's continue. Alrighty, after checking on the forms, it was suggested that I take off from the motor. Take off all of this, one cable at a time. Guess it has to come off anyway, huh? So I guess what I'll do, cut this off, take this out, and then all the cables that I need to disconnect are right here, one at a time. I'll take that off. All of this stuff comes off, and I'll just pull them through the housing one at a time. I would take you guys on this journey, but and I don't want to be cussing and swearing on the film. So here is the motor all disconnected. This is the cable that goes to the battery to start it. All the other cables are right here. Throttle cable right here. And these other cables. It's interesting. I thought there would be a lot more cables. When you look at that bundle, when you look at this bundle right here, when you look at this thing that's sitting out here, looks like there's like 1,000 wires that come out of there, but maybe there was 1,000, I don't know, but it really wasn't that hard to get all this stuff out of here, to disconnect it. There's a steering cable to disconnect it, so this motor is ready to go. Take these bolts off, lift it up with the tractor. Bye-bye internal combustion engine. So now that everything is disconnected, this is going to be fun, I think, maybe not, as I have to pull these cables through this tubing underneath here. I don't think it'll be a problem. I was going to take this whole tubing off, lower it down and pull it through, but it doesn't really do any good because the tubing is completely enclosed, so it wouldn't really do much. So I think it'll be fine. I'm just going to pull it through off of that end and then up through the floorboard. Should be good to go. So I want to show you guys when I took all this wiring apart for you all that might want to do that. These connectors turned out to be a little bit easier than I thought. So these connectors, that just snaps on right here. You just pop that out, falls right out. The other one here, there was another one. This little connector right here connects right there. It's really easy. The throttle cables go right there with those little pins. And then there's a fuel little line. There's a fuel line that comes through, goes underneath here, and it plugs right into there. And then the battery cables just came off. I just wrapped this up for the transport. Batteries came over, went right through here. And then the steering's kind of interesting. It's a pole right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just that's a steel pipe. And you put it right in this little tube, and as you can see, it comes out the other side. So you screw that in here, and then it pops out right here and attaches to this. You put that screw bolt on here like this, and then this attaches directly to the boat, and then you just pivot it like that. That's quite easy now. And when it's not connected, it moves really well. Anyway, so it's the easiest to disconnect your remote control arm from the motor, not from the little shifter itself. Another thing I wanted to show you, I've got to remove this here because, as you can see, it kind of cuts this pipe in half, and it'll be a little hard to pull these cables through, so I'm just going to loosen these up. But one thing to keep in mind is when you need to thread cables through any PVC or anything like that, yeah, once I pull this through, it's gone. But now if I need to pull something from the front this way, I don't have any way to get it out. So what you do is you buy this little tube of pull string, and I'm going to attach it to this right here, and then when I pull this through here, it'll take the string with it, and then I'll just leave that out here, so when I need to pull some more cable through, I already have a pull string in here, and I'll show you that in just a second. So there's probably a better way to do this, but what I ended up doing is I got my pull string and I put it way up here. I'm pulling this cable through and I'm taking the pull string with it. I don't want it anywhere on the end of this for obvious reasons. Well, I don't want it anywhere on the end of this because I don't want the string to pull on this connector at all. I want the whole thing to be nice and free. And then as I pull this through there, this string will just unwrap, and then I'll have a pull string in this tubing. Alrighty, so I'm going to pull the first cable through here. We're going to see how this works. There's a tubing, goes all the way through. I have a pull line through there. Let's see how this works. Oh, man. Well, that didn't work too far. You guys fell off. Alright, so here's, looks like I already have another splice here. Huh, looks like another splice for something, I don't know. Here we go. It's 35 feet, so I got a long way to go. Uh-oh. Come on, baby. Uh-oh, she's stuck. So I pulled out this much through here and it's stuck now. I'm guessing it's right here. I'm not, this goes into this tubing here. It's about halfway and it's stuck, so I'm not sure exactly what it's getting hung on. But I'm gonna get my wife to pull on that cable and just see if I can pull through here. Obviously I don't want to pull too hard because that one actually has an end on it. I don't want to pull off. So I'll just pull back and forth and hopefully I can get around this. So I cannot get the first cable through. It's hung up underneath somewhere. I can pull it back, but I really don't want to do that. So what I'm going to try now, I'm going to pull the throttle cable through. There's not a whole lot for that to get hung up, and this should give me more room in that tubing once I get these through, once I get these pulled through. Let's try it out. Alrighty, so let's pull the throttle cable through. We'll pull the first one through and see how this works. Hopefully it won't get hung up like the other cable did. But pulling this cable out should give me lots of room inside this tubing to get the other one that's stuck out. It seems like it's rolling right along. Oh yeah. First throttle cable through. That one's out. Let's get the next one here. All right, this is the other throttle cable. I don't have my pull line on this one. The pull line's on a little electrical cable. And I'm just gonna leave it on that cable because since it's not going through real easy, I can pull it back through if it continues to get hung up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There it is. Alrighty, so now all I have to do with the two throttle cables is that goes right into the floorboard, but as you can see, they filled it up with filler, so I'll have to dig all that out to get the cables out. So now we have to try to get this one out, and that's the one that is stuck. It's stuck on something, so we're gonna try to get that out. I might have to go to the other side. Remember that pull string? Pull it back through. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull it through here. I'm gonna pull it back and try it again because it's not doing too well. I might have to pull this whole cable out here, my steering cable, but I really don't want to if I don't have to. I'll be right back. Okay, so with the help of my wife, we were able to pull it through here. I pulled out one of the cables and it gave me enough room. Again, I didn't want to pull too hard because I don't want to bend this out. But anyway, it is out and I got my pull string. So if I need to go that direction, I have the pull string. Again, I'll leave this in the tubing. I'll just tie it up down here in the boat. So I got this fixed down on that end. I had to take some bolts off so the head of this would fit. So this is the last cable. This is a electrical control cable for the whole boat motor. Has a big fat head on it, so we're gonna see if I can get it through here. Oh, look at that. That must be an extender. So it came with this one, and they had to buy another one to make sure it would go 30 feet. That's what I'm guessing this is for. And it's trying to get hung up again. But there's a lot of room in there because I've already pulled a couple of cables through. And oh, another extender. Wow. All right. Didn't realize there were that many. Right here. Boom. Alrighty. There's a steering cable right here that for right now I'm going to leave it on there because I'm not sure what kind of motor the steering's going to have. I am looking at an electric motor that has a fly-by-wire, which won't need this, and that would be really cool. But if I don't get that one, I'll need a steering cable, and here it is right here. So I'll leave the steering cable on here. So that should be all the cables that I need to pull out for this motor. The rest of the cables, this cable right here is the 12-volt system that comes out of the batteries here, comes into here, goes into that tubing right there. You can see the positive and the negative right there. And then this big fat one right here is the steering cable that I am going to keep because I don't know what I'm going to have for steering on the next motor, but we will see. All right, look at this. Now I got to pull all this cable up through here, and there is not a lot of room. They took all the wood right here just to make room for all this darn cable. Man, this is going to be great fun trying to pull it through there. Oh well, let's get on to it. Yay, I got him. Check it out. Pulled it through that darn hole right there. Look at all this cable. Round, goes forever, everywhere. It's cable. I got my throttle cable through that hole. That was not fun at all. I've chewed this up best I can, but still pretty bad. So the next one I have to get through is this cable right here, which is the, I believe, just all the wires to control the outboard motor, like the RPMs, oil pressure, all of that good stuff. There's a lot of cable here, but I can probably disable some of this stuff. Looks like they got an extension on there, but I'm really gonna have to open this hole up quite a bit to get that through. I did try to take the cable off of the controller itself, but I wouldn't do that to the next owner, so I'm just going to try to dig this out so I can pull it through there. Alrighty, onward and forward. Forward or onward, one of the two. It's kind of interesting here. It's kind of hard to see because the sun is setting here, but all of these cables go in this direction, and it's like they pop out right here. The hole should be here. The interesting part is they've got a hole from here to here. They've just grinded this whole thing out to let cables and stuff go in, but the hole that goes through the hole is right here. All right, the last one I was playing George Thorogood there, so they might ding me for that one. So let me make one without any cool tunes playing. I got the snake out. I'm really sorry, it's really dark here. It is kind of late now, and my dog's thinking somebody's trying to steal my boat out there. He's yelling that there's somebody stealing Dad's boat. So there's the throttle controller. This is all the cables that came out. There's the throttle cables. This thing's got to be 35 feet, plus the main control for the outboard motor. About 30 feet of that. It's all out, cleaned up, ready to go. The process of taking the cables off of this boat really wasn't that hard. What took me the longest was to learn about how to do it properly. I enjoy learning about this boat, especially since I'm going to be spending so much time with it. And also I've got to put another motor on this boat, so I'm already ahead of the game. I am also interested in how you all think I should mount that console to the wall. I really don't want to use those 4 big gigantic bolts onto the wall. So any other ideas that you have, please leave a comment down below. And the next video should be pretty cool. We're going to talk about choosing the right electric outboard motor for this boat. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next video.